So so what you and I are discussing is, when we're focusing, sometimes there is this time, and there's this thing about time and space that happens.
Mm.
And you were saying that it's like past, present, and future is all together.
All together, yeah. And it's not a linear line, but
No.
it's something, it's really like something like, I don't.
Yeah. Yesterday I went to a bookstore, and I added it to my list of books that I want to recommend for reading, and it's called like The Tao of Physics.
Okay.
And what you're describing in physics, it would be, in physics, or we're taught like, a straight line is the closest distance between something.
Yes.
And in physics, there's the folding of time that brings it together.
Wow.
So this is the closest distance, not this.
Yeah.
Time can, in physics, then it can fold on itself. And so when you say that it's like the past and the present and the future is all together.
All together, yes.
That's, for me, it's like the brain just sort of folds this together in a way. Yeah.
Yes, and actually then also during my process, actually this focusing process, it was like, yes, past, like this, the whole, it was not about my life only, or but there was much more. But then there was also this yeah, it's like there was also this going back to my life with my mom. Like I mentioned, that I didn't have a connection with her when I was a child, and I have started to feel it just like after very difficult years. I would say maybe within 1 year, something like that, I have started to found this connection as something that is connecting us, and so on. And so now it was like, also going back to my childhood, but in a different way, like I think I said there once, like she was there all the time for me, supporting me in something, even though she was busy, but there were so many children in our family and so on. But somehow, like, and I said I was like a dad's girl, and so now I can feel that there was what I didn't feel before. It's like,
Right. I feel this is what, Maria, I feel like again, I think we're doing exactly what we just talked about. It's like we're trying to put language to something, and it's very hard to describe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And I think it's beautiful, actually, also that it's so difficult to find words, because then it's what is more important is what happens, what you experience. And also so that there is no need to explain everything.
Right. And that is so much, that's the that's like the whole body listening, that's like the whole body awareness.
Mm,
Like if you talk about all that was happening at home, and all of these memories, it's like
mm,
this is your body in time and space,
mm,
with siblings and
mm,
parents and at
mm,
school, and
mm,
all of it happens in
mm,
the space of an hour together.
exactly, yes.
Right.
And then also, like, because we are one piece of generations, or somehow, like, there is this connection to those who were before, and something like it's like, again, this
Yeah, like it happens on a continuum, right? And
exactly, yes, yes,
yeah,
because we are not an isolated
no, it's almost like ripples on a pond. It's
mm,
like you can throw little stones in the
yes,
pond, but
yes,
they impact
mm,
each other. And I think I always sometimes come back to Jenlin's statement of how much we are interaction. We're
mm,
constantly interacting with our experience and experience
mm,
of other, and
yeah,
creating something new each time we.
mm,
Hmm.
exactly, yes. Which is then also, this is one key thing, that new things can happen. You don't need to, you are not um, cursed to be in your prison, like I mentioned about this. Like, I felt like I was this little bird without muscles to fly in this bird cage. Yes, and I felt it, like I had that image uh, for maybe a couple of years.
Mm.
Then I saw, like, actually, then I saw, like, when the other birds were flying, and I was just sitting there in my bird cage. And then I actually, because this is a process, then I could see how the bird cage door was open, but I felt like, because I didn't have muscles, how can I go there? I cannot go there to fly, because I don't know how to fly. And but then when I finally was in that place where I knew, oh, I can fly, I can learn to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw me as the big bird. I was not this so little, tiny little, without any muscles, but I was actually much bigger than I ever had thought. So we are not, because this is a living experience. Something is happening, something new is coming. We are not cursed to be really in a little box or in a prison or something.
Yeah.
Something can change, and it starts within ourselves, and it can be something that maybe nobody else is not seeing, but it's happening. Something is changing inside us.
Something is changing.
Mm.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then there's that doing and the being, right? With that change, that will influence, what you do next, and how you're being next with
Yeah.
everything that you do. Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also now thinking of you being there in New York, and me being here in Finland.
Right.
So never met each other's. I mean, in person, or
No, never meeting each other in person, but yet having this connection that we often talk about.
yeah,
How easy it's been.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
So yes, it's again something that there is no words, but it's such a miracle. It's something very beautiful that can happen sitting inside our homes.
Sitting inside our homes and just taking courses together. And that's how that landed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and really following the felt sense.
Mm.
Right. Yeah, taking a risk and doing what it feels like the next best thing to do.
Yes. And here we come back to this safety again. Like, for example, this process, what happened in me during this focusing session, it couldn't happen if I don't feel safe.
Right.
Because it was so deep and it was so like
Yeah.
mm,
I find that sometimes in focusing, well, let me ask you, during our time together just now, was there at any point where you feel like a reflection or a word or something did not resonate? And what would you?
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was this one point where, but it was not so that that word didn't resonate, but I when I said, like, at school, it was the only way where I felt worthy was being good at school and in sports. And then you reflected back only this in sports. So there I noticed that it's very important for me. Something was lacking, something important was lacking. So then I said that not only in sports, but also
in school.
Yes. Yes. That was the only moment. I didn't know, there wasn't anything else when I felt like something was missing.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think like sometimes those very subtle reflections, sometimes we miss them or put our own interpretations to them, and it affects the processing that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and it feels important to say, and that's something that also I think it's so focusing has taught me a lot to say if something is not quite right.
Yeah.
So that I want to say how it feels from my point of view. And now it felt like this something important was somehow missing or not noticed. So I wanted to say it back, and then it feels so good when you reflect it. You somehow like correct. Oh yes, there is this also, something like that. So then I feel so heard.
Yeah, it's that whole thing of mirroring comes up, right? Of just saying, this is what Maria is saying, and I'm going to give her back what's experience as close to it as possible. Because I can't, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I can't think of any other form of therapy, but even a philosophy or anywhere in life where we would have that kind of reflective experience of something. And especially some of the things that comes up in childhood where we often feel so misunderstood.
Yes.
Right. And we're learning how to interact with these parental figures, and there's, they might be so caught up in their existence as adults that our experience as a children doesn't often get reflected back to us.
Yeah, exactly.
And our peers are not doing it. And then here we are in adulthood, meeting in these spaces where we where we like transcend space and time to revisit some of those memories, to give them the reflection that
Reflects, yes. So
we
it's again some kind of like here you're saying like it's some kind of also like again this kind of healing experience, so that something that what didn't necessarily happen when we were child, because there was this adult level somehow, and then there's this children, and we as a children, how we maybe try to say something or show something or cry something or feel something or whatever, and it was not reflected back, and maybe feeling like I'm not heard, or I'm not, it's not important, or this is silly how I feel, or my stories are not interested, or all that.
And Marie, I'm also, and as you say that, I'm also what's occurring for me is I'm noticing that even sometimes children, just like you and I are having, sometimes we're talking about putting language to what we're experiencing. Children definitely don't have the language sometimes to describe how they're feeling.
Exactly. Yes. That's true. And they don't try to. I have a almost 2-year-old grandchild, and of course she doesn't have words for everything. She amazingly, she has learned so many words already. I'm so amazed how it happens. but really, there are moments when she just cries. She's crying. Suddenly she starts crying, and she cannot explain what is happening in her. So what can I do just to be there for her? Right.
And you can be there for her, and I think this is how grandparents are so different than parents, because I feel like you can be there for her, and if mom wants to be there, no criticism to mom is like, you have things to do.
Exactly. I have been thinking the same.
It's the grandparent that has the space and the time and the freedom to say, okay, come, let's figure out what's going on. Spend time together.
Yes. And then there was this, actually what comes to my mind, you remember this window thing? Because I was already, it was beautiful how you let me into my body. And then I really could feel it, but then I started to hear the noises outside. And then I felt a little like, can I say that this is disturbing me? Those noises are disturbing me. And then, no, exactly, in focusing, it's so important. If there's something that is not quite right, if you need to put some more clothes, or if you feel that cold or something, so that, or whatever. So
the importance of the focuser to be comfortable.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
all of that is coming into that felt sense. And I can see that I was, as much as I was present with you, a part of me was aware of my surroundings and my noises.
Okay.
So I was like, should I close my window too?
Okay.
I'm like,
Did you close it?
Okay. No, but if like my mind was there, are my neighbors going to make noises? Is the door in the hallway slammed? I'm like,
okay.
So there was a little bit of, as you're coming into your space, I'm like, what about my space? Do I need to modify it, or I'm like trusting that it's going to be okay? So I hope, was there anything on my end in terms of sound or noises that was distracting?
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm like, I hope there's not a fire engine that goes by, or an ambulance.
Yeah, but for example, it's interesting because sometimes what I have heard from your side, outside or something, somehow they like birds singing, or that has been very. Did I hear again? Or sometimes something else. So it very often it may even become a part of the story somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
That has happened where,
Mm.
I'll leave the windows open, the birds will make sounds, and a client will kind of incorporate those sounds along with their work that they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that influences it. Yeah. I'm just gonna check something for a moment.
Oh.
So these are some, I kind of shared this a little bit, and this is from, I'm doing focusing levels 1 through 5. I had already done one, but I'm repeating it with someone else.
Yeah.
This is like Amona Buchler, and Amona has these questions, in our work together today. Is there something you would have wanted differently from a companion? And how often in your focusing experience do you reflect on that?
During this, I wouldn't change anything. I don't need any, I don't see any need for anything different. And I have, when I started to do focusing, when I was new, I remember how difficult it was in the beginning to say if, for example, I need more reflecting back, or if I want this another person to be more silent, for not reflect too much. Or I remember that maybe one of the most difficult things for me was to say once to my my focusing partner, when I was focusing on something that was pretty painful, and she was so empathic, and I felt like her empathy somehow was too much for me, because I felt like it didn't, how to say, so that because then I noticed so clearly that my empathy level towards this something painful in me was not as
deep as she
as deep. Yes. So it was disturbing me somehow, and it was very difficult. For first I felt like, can I say that, do I somehow what is the word in English, how about if she, I don't know the word in English, loukkaantua in Finnish. Get hurt, something like that. I don't know what is it, but really if she feels bad about me saying, because she was not meaning anything bad for me, but it just felt too much for me. But then it helped me, because knowing these certain rules in focusing, or so yeah. So then from that, I knew that, yeah, I can say it, and it's important to say it. And then I said, like I told her that now I feel that it's like overruling or something mine, so that I don't have space for mine. Yes. Yeah, and then we were able to discuss about it afterwards, and it was so good experience for both of us,
Yeah,
because she felt a little hurt first,
right.
but because we were able to both of us were able to share how did we feel, and
Yeah,
so on, she realized that it some kind of, I don't know, yeah, that I was not, I don't know how to say it, but it became such a beautiful experience for both of us.
right.
And since then we were able to share much more if something was not quite right. She can say to me, we are still focusing partners, and
Yeah,
for some years, and she can very easily say to me, don't say back anything. I want to just be
right.
here. Don't say anything, and so on.
It is very hard. You know, sometimes when a partner corrects and say when the focuser says to the companion, that was too much or that was too little, can you repeat it again? The companion may feel hurt initially
Yeah.
or criticized, but
Yes.
when they are able to reflect exactly or mirror what the focuser is asking, there comes a feeling sometimes of gratitude, of like, I have served you like the right portion of something very good that you asked for.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. And then one thing is also like, for example, what as a we also learn that you don't need to be scared as a listener if you say something wrong, or if you didn't understand something and you reflect it back so that it's not quite right.
Mhm.
Because what happens very often in that something wrong is it opens something new.
It opens something new, right? That has often happened, right? It sometimes you say something wrong and you miss the point and you're like, oh no, and as a companion you're like criticizing yourself, and the
Yeah.
focuser is like, no, that's not it. And it's whatever it is that the focuser is already on, it strengthens it a little bit and makes it stronger.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So I would say that it's more about this willingness to be there, and this bodily way of listening as well, listening of the focuser, which somehow I feel like those mistakes, they come for a reason.
Right, right. They come for a reason. Yeah.
And there is no willingness to harm another person, but it's really it's like honoring the process of the focuser, and honoring her as a person or him, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, you know, it is, and I love that word honoring, and it's an honoring that yeah, it's an honoring that you've never had at any other time except like this moment with this companion.
Yeah.
And it's not a moment that can be repeated. You can try doing it again with someone else, but that interaction will bring something new with that companion. Yeah.
And funny thing what happens now is I'm laughing because I started to feel that I'm hungry.
That's fine. Yeah, it's good. Stomach is saying you're hungry. Good. Good.
Because what I actually heard from somewhere yesterday was like someone saying that how easily we also forget those really something like hungry. We are so like willing to work, and we somehow try to like I don't want to eat. I'm just willing to do this. I want to end this, and so on.
Right.
So actually, one part of respecting ourselves is to notice, okay, my belly is saying that it's really needing some food.
Yes. I am okay with your belly saying that for you. Good. Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you. See you again
Yes, I'll see you again in 2 weeks, right?
in 2 weeks. Let me see. Just a second. Where are we now? I'm not able to attend this Coffee with Jean next time because, and actually, and next in 2 weeks I'm not able to because this. First of all, on Saturday in 2 weeks' time, there will be this Midsummer Festival in Finland, and then also we are going to celebrate my first grandchild's birthday, which is like a couple of days before, but we will celebrate it on Saturday, and on Sunday there will be this name giving party and this baptism of this little one.
The new grandchild.
Yes.
How is the new grandchild doing?
Oh, she's fine. She's sleeping almost very much, but she's very peaceful. She doesn't have any problems that would make her life more difficult. So she's very satisfied.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, but how about in week after that? Would it be okay for you?
Sure.
4th of, or is it 4th of July? It's actually your national day, Independence Day. Yeah.
It's fine. We can do this Saturday morning.
Okay, yes, 3rd of.
The 3rd?
Okay, yes. Let's do it then.
The 3rd at 8?
Yes, good. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, this was such a gift for me, really.
I feel like I'm taking away from our session just, these 2 geese and flying together.
Oh, yes.
I love that image of you and your mom.
Yes, me too. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I'm happy that you said that. Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your day, and I'm so happy that you proposed this, and this is so amazing. Everything is so amazing, and I'm willing to listen to you as well then, because now it was so much about me.
It's fine. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.